Please subscribe.
Luleå, Sweden, close to the Arctic Circle, gets around 5 hours of sunlight in January, with normal temperatures that play with 0 degrees Fahrenheit. It's the sort of condition where Americans would anticipate that enormous SUVs and 4x4 pickups should be the main approaches to get around. In any case, that couldn't possibly be more off-base. The most widely recognized vehicles are European brand wagons, for the most part with an amazing arrangement of mammoth, round rally lights mounted to the front end, with the decent larger part being Volvos. Along these lines, it shocked no one that Volvo picked Luleå as the area for the dispatch of its most up-to-date wagon, the V60 Cross Country. The Cross Country recipe adds up to raising the body of a current Volvo model, including some body cladding and SUV-like styling bits, and showcasing it to dynamic way-of-life types, an equation so straightforward IKEA most likely represents it. Volvo has been siphoning out cross-country models since 1998, with the lifted wagons quite often beating the ordinary variations, at times by colossal edges. For instance, the active V60 Cross Country discovered more than twofold the quantity of purchasers as ordinary V60s in 2018, and the V90 Cross Country beat the standard V90 by very nearly multiple times, albeit some portion of that disparity is that the customary V90 is currently on common request, as it were. The new V60 Cross Country's ground freedom has been expanded by up to 3 inches contrasted with the standard vehicle, and includes an off-road driving mode, in spite of the fact that it doesn't do much past marginally modifying the standard all-wheel drive framework's customizing and initiating the vehicle's slow plummet control, another new component. The V60cc wears the imperative dark plastic body extremities on the guards and wheel curves, distinctive wheel structures, another grille, and some CC explicit metal trim on the inside. Everything else is common 60 arrangement Volvo goodness, which means smooth outside styling, a dazzling inside with an occasionally moderate to respond touchscreen infotainment framework, and probably the best seats found in any vehicle. Volvo will offer the V60cc just in T5AWD structure in the United States. That implies a turbocharged 2.0-liter inline 4 making 250 drive and 258 pounds-to-foot of torque, equivalent to in other T5 variants of Volvo's 60 and 90 arrangement models, is the sole motor choice. Dissimilar to in the standard V60, the Cross Country won't be accessible with the 316-horsepower T6 powertrain, and neither one of the wagons will offer Volvo's T8 twin-engine module half-and-half setup in the US, and routine driving the T5 powertrain is bound to be incredible, and it matches well with the 8-speed programmed, the main accessible transmission. Decidedly capable. The V60cc's we drove on the cleared streets and snow-secured trails of Luleå were both completely stacked T5AWD models, all fitted with 19-inch wheels enveloped by studded Michelin X-Size North for winter tires. While the studded elastic made it hard to get a genuine vibe for the vehicle's on-street habits, they did introduce much from the general experience beside including a touch of additional street glamour. The standard V60's fair dealing with and well-tuned guiding are as yet present, yet the Cross Country feels marginally progressively quieted and somewhat less energetic in its reflexes. The raised ride tallness and milder suspension tuning, nonetheless, make it detectably comfier than the standard vehicle, particularly on harsh streets, and it isn't so padded as to feel floaty or standoffish. Volvo says that, dissimilar to on the V90cc, air springs aren't offered in light of the fact that purchasers in this fragment esteem payload space, something an air setup would eat into on the 60 stage. On our second day of driving, Volvo took us onto the solidified Baltic Sea simply off the bank of the city, where it had made an improvised circuit that comprised of a genuinely long straight, 2 or 3 dozen chicane-like bends, and 2 very long, clearing right-handers. We were at first trained to put the vehicle in its dynamic driving mode yet keep security control turned on. when attempting to get the wagon's backside to kick out to roar when conveying a lot of speed into a corner, the vehicle's electronic minders effectively got control over the fun, applying the brakes to help rapidly recapture footing and prevent the vehicle from slipping or sliding. Afterward, we exchanged on the Cross Country's Escape Sport mode, which adequately debilitates the steadiness control, conceding the driver more control. With this mode initiated, we effectively went into since a long time ago, controlled four-wheel floats through the corners, the vehicle pleasantly responding to directing and throttle inputs. Also, beside the couple of times when the safety belt pretensioners endeavored the Heimlichkeit, there was no intercession from the V60's well-being frameworks, for example, suddenly cutting the power or applying the brakes. Without a doubt, this activity didn't have much bearing on how the Cross Country will perform in typical, genuine conditions while wearing non-studded tires, however it was a huge amount of fun. We additionally put in a couple of laps driving XC40 T5AWD on a similar course, and the little hybrid wasn't so natural, or agreeable, to slide around as the bigger wagon. A smart utilitarian. Volvo additionally set up a false rough terrain course in the snow to demonstrate that the V60 Cross Country really is as tough as it looks. A precarious downhill area pursued by a tough ascension exploited the slope drop and slope hold includes that are initiated by choosing the off-road driving mode. Next were several profoundly banked corners, an enormous jettison that had the V60 roosted on two wheels, lastly a segment of logs mostly covered in the permafrost. None of the course was extraordinary, however there never was a minute when it felt as though the Cross Country couldn't deal with the deterrence or that a higher-riding XC60 SUV would admission any better. At the point when the V60 Cross Country hit seller parts in the mid-year, its beginning cost ought to be a couple of fabulous higher than the V60 Momentum T5FWD, recommending a base cost of around $42,000. Not at all like the normal V60, which comes in three trim dimensions. Notwithstanding the two powertrains, the Cross Country arrives in a solitary setup that puts the V60cc in a similar value run as a base XC60 hybrid, which makes one wonder, with the V60 Cross Country, has Volvo made the ideal option in contrast to its very own hybrid? We figure it may have. The V60 Cross Country checks all the containers that the run-of-the-mill hybrid purchaser needs: a raised ride stature, butch styling, heaps of freight room, and in any event a similarity to go mud romping capacity. With about every one of the advantages of the XC60 and no drawbacks contrasted with the standard V60, Volvo has made a phenomenal trade-off by proceeding to fill this specialty. Most significant, in any event to us, the V60 Cross Country is flush with a quite attractive character, both all around, which isn't something found on spec sheets.